meditative stage to any kind of guided meditation. So for those people, there is some other tool called surrogate past life regression, which means that you can have somebody else, of course, with permission. You can take somebody to past life regression, and through that soul, you can connect to the other soul who requires the past life regression therapy. So it is using one body to heal the other body. So that's called surrogate past life regression. So I started that. And in meantime, I learned a lot of other modalities, like I also use the pendulum healing technique. So this is my pendulum. I do a lot of pendulum healing, which is indeed very powerful. Then, of course, I initially got introduced to Reiki and pranic healing and all of that, which I do practice a bit. Especially when it comes to pranic healing, it is very important to understand the energy levels where a person is affected, where the problem is, and then after the healing is over, again you can check the energy levels through your hands and see whether there is a marked improvement or not. So that comes very handy for all of us, whatever modalities we use for healing, but to check the energy level of a particular person before and after the healing is a very scientific way of understanding whether the healing actually reaped any benefits or not. So I use those kind of techniques. Today I'll be talking about something very different. It is trance state healing. Trance state, of course, many of you are aware of trance state, which is neither you're sleeping, nor you're unconscious, nor you're fully conscious. So it's a very peculiar state in between. So I would like to talk about that healing modality today. It is very close to the Silva method of healing, which is also based on empowering the subconscious mind. So before we enter into that, I would just open the platform. If you have any questions for me at this point, you can ask, else I'll move on. Okay, so
can I ask you?
Yes.
When you say trance, do you mean that you put people into the alpha state or gamma state or something?
Yes. So
it's like a kind of hypnosis, or
no? It is not hypnosis. It is not hypnosis.
Okay, that's why you said like Silva method. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So
it's not hypnosis, but
okay. It is if you consider a meditative state as a hypnotic state also, in a broader sense, then it is.
Yes.
Is one in control of oneself, or somebody has to do it for you, or can you do it for yourself?
We will discuss all of that now.
Okay.
Just 1 second. There's some sun falling on my eyes. Just 1 second. Yeah. So as we are aware, we have different forms of the mind. The first, of course, is the conscious mind, where we understand everything. Logic works everywhere. If a pen falls from the table to the floor, we question immediately our mind. Why did the pen fall from the table to the floor without me touching it or without anything else? So our logical mind asks the question, and then we look at the fan. Is the fan on? If the fan is on, maybe the force of the wind was so much that the pen rolled and it had fallen on the floor. The logical mind is always active when we are conscious. Opposite, of course, is the unconscious mind. When for example, when we go for a surgery or things like that, all our metabolic activities are on, but we cannot perceive. For example, if somebody touches us or talks to us, we may not be able to hear them. But all our activities like breathing or metabolic activity, everything is on at that stage. Something in between that is the subconscious mind, where you are not unconscious, where you're not conscious also. It's a very interesting phase of the mind where you can actually tap a lot of lot of your untapped potential, and you can be your own healer if you are able to take your mind at the subconscious state. So the subconscious state is also kind of it's a kind of a trance state. You must have heard a lot of visionaries, including scientists, musicians, also healers. They got interesting messages from the divine or from up there as to what should be a particular tune, or what should be a particular dhun of a particular song, or what can be a particular complex organic compound formula for it, and so on. Many of these scientists, they if you talk to them, you will understand that many times it's not that they are superhuman or their IQ levels are 3x of ours and so on. It is many a times that they can easily transform their conscious mind to a subconscious state, and they are able to receive a lot of messages from the subconscious mind, from the subconscious state. And that has led to a lot of things in this world. A lot of books have been written also in this, and people have written a lot of books getting messages from the subconscious mind also. So the question is, how does it work and what happens? And is it possible for us also to activate and work in these lines so that we can help ourselves without taking help from anybody else? The answer is yes, we can do that. And today we will discuss few of these very simple techniques on how to do that. So there are two things. First is when we are talking about a trance state healing, there are two things. One is how to take oneself to a trance state without anybody's help. You yourself. Can you yourself take move to a trance state on your own whenever you want to? And second, when you are in a trance state, how do you initiate healing of yourself? Consciously remembering that you need to heal or you need to achieve something. How do you do that? So that is the purpose of today's session. So before we move to that, let us try to understand how the mind works when it is not conscious. So to explain that, a very simple thing is there, which all of us are aware of, is when we go to sleep, or when we are about to go to sleep, when we see dreams or these lucid dreams and so on. Many times you must have noticed that when you are in a dream, within a fraction of a second, you can go from Mumbai to say Boston, and you are there and you are meeting people, you are talking to people, you are in a cafe having coffee, and when somebody wakes you up, you are back in your sense, and you're back to your bed. So this is a very interesting thing, because when you're talking about imagination, the power of imagination, especially when we are dreaming, when we are not in a conscious state, it is very easy to imagine things. Of course, you are not regulating that imagination. It is coming on its own and it is going away on its own. You are not having control on your imagination. But it is possible. And you know that in the world of imagination, anything is possible. Anything, when I say anything, it is just anything. Anything is possible. So you can suddenly meet a very old friend, and you see that you are meeting the old friend in a railway station in some location which you have never been in your life. You are seeing that you are meeting that person, you are chatting, you are talking, and so on. So all of these things happen in your dream world many a times. So if it is possible to have this kind of imagination in your dream, why not in reality? Can you yourself regulate that kind of a vision for yourself? That is the crux. Now, not only that, if you can do that, can you use that for healing yourself? Anything, it could be anything. It could be a sudden burn on your skin, or it could be a severe headache, or it could be high BP problem, or it could be a blood sugar problem, and so on. Is it possible? So a lot of research has been, people have been involved in a lot of research in this. And people say, of course, there's a very famous book written by Joseph Murphy on the power of the subconscious mind. I'm sure many of you here in this forum must have read that book also. It talks about the power of the subconscious mind and how the subconscious mind can heal you, and not only you, even others through you. You can heal others through your subconscious mind. So today I'll talk about that, and I will discuss principally two aspects. First is, how do you take yourself to a trance state? And second, if you are at a trance state, how do you go about with the healing process? So as I was saying, of course, before that, another thing comes. Many of you may find it very difficult to imagine. So suppose if I ask all of you to close your eyes and imagine that say suppose a peacock is just in front of you. Is it so easy to imagine? For some, it could be. For others, it may not be that easy to imagine. So the power of imagination is not the same with all. But of course, you can train your mind to imagine better. It is possible. So the first thing is imagination, and once you understand how to imagine, then I'll move to the trance state. How do you take your mind to the trance state? So there are some very simple examples and exercises that will help you to build an imaginative mind. Okay, one example or one exercise which I like the most is the candle exercise, we call it. So what you can do is in a room, of course, it's better if it is post sunset, if it is dark. So in a room, you can just sit in a particular posture you like. You can sit on a chair, or you can sit in Padmasana position and so on, and have a candle lit in a dark room, candle lit maybe 5 feet apart from you. And the height of the candle should be at the height of your eyes. And light the candle and observe the candle from a 5 feet distance. Once you observe the candle from a 5 feet distance for a while, close the candle light, and close your eyes and try to see the same through your imagination. It's not very difficult. It is easy. Why candle? Why candle is a good way of this exercise? The reason is, when you have the flame of the candle is never static. It keeps on swaying here and there, and there are and even the the size of the flame. Sometimes it will increase, sometimes it will come down, and so on. It will sometimes go really up, and then it will sway this way, that way, and so on. So when you observe a candle very, very carefully, and then when you close it, and then when you just close your eyes and try to replicate that same model within your mind, you will be able to see the same candle being lit, and it is also, the flame is moving this way, that way. It is sometimes glowing high, glowing low, and so on. You will be able to visualize. So if you practice this exercise for some time, this will build kind of a imaginative mind. This will help you to build an imaginative mind. There is another very simple exercise based on your current status, wherever you are. So for example, you are in your room. Suppose you are lying down on your bed. Okay, get up from your bed, move to the switch on the light, open your door, move out, and let us assume that you go to the kitchen, pour a glass of water, drink it, leave the glass on the basin, gradually come back, close your door, switch off the light, and lie down on your bed. You do this physically. Next, lie down on your bed, close your eyes, and imagine the entire sequence that you did just now. Because you did the entire cycle just a few minutes back, it is not difficult to imagine. It will be easy to imagine. So there are, so I'm sure you get an idea on how to start building your imaginative mind. So you can try this out. There are various ways of doing it. It can be even, for example, if you play squash, or if you play football or badminton, you play the game and then come back. And at night when you lie down on your bed, just imagine what happened. Second by second, minute by minute. It's not difficult, it's easy. So this is a very interesting exercise. There are a lot of such exercises, very interesting exercises to build your imaginative mind. This is very important for trance state healing, because trance state healing depends a lot on your imaginative mind state, how well you can imagine. Next comes how to create your, how to move or how to take your mind to a trance state. Well, at this point, I would like to admit that for some, it could be easy. It could be very fast. For others, it may not be so fast. But practice is the key. If you keep on practicing, sooner or later, you will be able to reach that level. It could take some time, but you will be able to reach that level. So the first level of moving your mind to a trance state is sit in a place, comfortable, keep your spine straight. It can be in a chair, it can be in a Padmasana posture, or whatever posture you are comfortable with. People who have never meditated may find it very difficult to keep your spine straight and sit for a long period of time. Long, when I say long, I'm talking about 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So initially, when you find it very difficult to sit straight up with your spine straight, you can take a support, the wall or something for a while. And sometimes maybe you can move away from the wall a bit and just sit straight, and then again take support on the wall, again sit forward straight, and so on. So that will help you to practice how to sit straight with your spine straight. It's always better when you sit in this kind of a posture to leave a certain gap between your spine and the support. It's not very good to stick your back to the support. It's always better to keep a bit of a gap so that energy can flow through your spine. Okay, so when you are able to sit in a particular place, you are comfortable, bring your entire focus on your breath. And this is, as you all know very well, this is the beginning, or this is the fundamental recipe of meditation. Okay, so bring your entire focus on your breath. If sporadic thoughts come to your mind, let them come. No problem at all. Don't force any thought that comes to your mind to don't do all that. Okay, if any thought comes, there is a reason why it is coming. Gently, softly, politely ask the thought to leave you. If the thought leaves, fine. If it doesn't leave, it will automatically leave when its job is over. Don't worry. Okay. So what is your job? You have to sit straight. If possible, you can keep your left arm down and your right arm on the top on your lap like this and sit straight. And completely bring your focus on your breath. Now, there is a particular technique in which you need to breathe. It's again practice. You have to inhale only to the amount that will make you extremely comfortable. And you have to exhale only to the amount that makes you extremely comfortable. So I'll give you an example. For example, if I'm breathing now, it is making me uncomfortable because I am inhaling more than I can naturally. Okay. Now, if I'm exhaling, it is uncomfortable because I'm exhaling more than I should or I can or something that is comfortable to me. But if I just sit calmly observing something, it is natural inhalation and exhalation. But whenever this natural inhalation and exhalation happens, many a times we are not carefully observing our breath. So here what I'm saying is you have to inhale and exhale, being totally cognizant of your inhalation and exhalation. Each time measuring your inhalation and exhalation, making it as accurate as possible. So you will gradually come to a level where you don't inhale even a second more than what you actually require. And you don't exhale even a second more than you actually want to or is required. And all this thing you're doing totally with a conscious mind when you're starting the meditation. Bringing your total focus on your breath. With your spine straight, you are sitting. Another very important factor here is if you are sitting in a chair, don't keep your legs folded. It is always better to keep your legs side by side. And if you are having your palms, it is always better to have your palms in this posture with a 30-degree to 60-degree angle. Okay. Now, gradually what happens when you are focusing on your breath, you will be able to attain a level which you will see that it's the most comfortable level of inhalation and exhalation. When you reach that level, automatically you will be in a phase which is not completely conscious. But you're still not at a trance state. To come to a trance state, now, after you have reached a level of inhalation and exhalation, which is absolutely, comfortable for you, start in your mind backward counting. Okay. So for example, you start counting 100, 99, 98, 97, 96, 95, like that. Start counting backward. You don't need to utter the words. Simple movement of the lip is also fine. you will be surprised, or rather not so surprised, to find that you are not able to do that and you are making mistakes. Suddenly you are clueless. What is after 88? And you struggle to find out that after 88, it is 87. So that is a state where you are gradually approaching the trance level. I have asked you to move from 100 gradually downward. With practice, you will be able to do that when you start counting 20 downward. And with practice, you just need to sit in the posture, focus on your breath for 3 minutes, 2 minutes, not even 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and just count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you are at a trance state. But that will take time. That will take a longer period of time. So it is calming the mind. So what are you doing? What you are doing is you are gradually pushing your conscious mind to sleep and raising the level of your subconscious mind. You are gradually activating your subconscious mind. This is what you are actually doing. Once you are at that level, then comes the healing part. I told you, in order to heal yourself, imagination is the key. So let us assume that you are having a terrible pain in your left shoulder. Okay. If not terrible, say a constant pain in your left shoulder or right shoulder. Okay. So you go through the trance state. And now what you will do is, imagine that you have entered into a room which has all the divine instruments of surgery, of medicines, of healing, everything present in a particular room. And it is your space. Just imagine that in that room where you have been now, in that trance state you are imagining, go to a particular rack and you pick up a particular injection, which is the medicine, the right medicine for your shoulder pain. So in your imaginative mind state, just visualize that you are lying down and a nurse comes and gradually injects a medicine on your shoulder at a particular point here. You will be able to feel the flow of the fluid into your nerves and veins. It's all imagination. You are imagining that you are able to feel. The injection is over and you just lie down for some time. You wake up and you can gradually move out of your trance state. Okay, our time is limited. We cannot talk too much, but there are several ways of trance state healing. But one of these, one of the most powerful way is to take yourself to a zone, to a room, which has any medicine for any disease, any illness in the world. And you go there, and it can also be a surgery. It can be an injection. It can be the hand of a particular divine entity. If you are suffering from migraine, just imagine that a divine entity comes and just puts his or her hand on your head like this. And imagine that energy flowing through the hand to your nerves and veins of your head, and you are getting healed. Conscious level, it is very difficult. Any kind of healing that takes at a subconscious level, at a trance state, is immensely powerful. Now, the question is it possible that we are able to heal ourselves just with one such practice? The answer is no. If it is a chronic problem, it can take longer time. But in all cases, it's best that you try this kind of a healing at least thrice a day to start with. Gradually, you can reduce the frequency, and you also experience, and as you keep on practicing this for months together, you will become an expert. As you become an expert, you can go deeper and deeper to trance, and your power of imagination also becomes much more stronger than it is now. So with this, I will stop. I will open up the floor for questions.
Namaste, sir. Yeah, I have a question. In one of the sessions here, only on this platform, we learned about numeric healing with numbers. And you must be aware of that. So if somebody is doing this process, writing the numbers and then doing this type of trance healing, will that expedite the process, or it is just not to be combined?
Yeah, you can combine. Definitely, you can combine. There are a lot of numbers that help healing a lot. And this is not magic. It's very, very scientific. And if you can, chant some of those numbers for healing, when you're able to take yourself to a trance state, it is even more powerful. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you. And we can, on our own, we can come out of the trance. Like I always thought.
Yes. It's very simple, because you are completely in control of yourself. It is just that you have just slipped from the conscious state to the trance state. I mean, it is just like, on a lazy day, you suppose it is raining outside, and you are on your easy chair, you are observing the rain with a cup of coffee, and you just took 2 sips, and then suddenly you just lie down and you just go to sleep. It is not, you slip, SLIP, slip to a different state. You are not sleeping. Is it very difficult to wake yourself up? It is automatic. It is automatic. But don't rush. Don't just jump and all that. Just open your eyes gradually and lie down for some time. Rub your face with your hands and then gradually get up. Why so? Because many times when you're in a trance state and when you wake yourself up from a trance state, your blood pressure may suddenly fluctuate. Okay, if you are jumping up and all that. So don't jump. Be gentle and soft with your body and mind. Everything will be fine.
And you mentioned something about the dreams. In dreams, do we see colors, or somewhere I read it's only black and white, not colors? So if you can answer that, it may not be related to your subject, but
No. Dreams can be colorful, just like you observe in nature. Everything like that. It can be totally colored with color, and it can also be black and white. But if a dream is black and white, then there is a specific significance for that. And if it is natural color, it's a different connotation.
And during trance, the eyeballs get very much settled, deeply settled into the eye socket. Is that true?
Yes, it becomes a bit heavy.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, I see nobody having any questions. So